in basketball, there's going to be situations that happen that you just don't have control of. And you got to be able to deal with that and get on to the next play. And it speaks to so much in life too, just the way you handle yourself with. Are you going to compete in life? Are you going to improve yourself? And also be mentally tough, because life's going to throw all sorts of craziness at you. Can you get on to that next play and just worry about what you can control?
Meet Tim Kennedy, head coach of the Archbishop Mitty men's basketball team, whose philosophies apply to basketball, but move even further into the lives of his players.
What we want to get out of them by the time they're done in 4 years is they know how to compete. And the other thing is mental toughness. And when we talk about compete, everyone always thinks that, hey, I got to beat the other person. Competing for us doesn't mean being the other player. It means constant improvement and trying to be your best self and the team's best self. And then being mentally tough, something that we pride ourselves on, is just being able to control what you can control and having that next play mentality.
Kennedy, known to many as TK, obviously didn't start as a coach. He started as a player in the first grade with help from a familial assist.
My path has been a long journey since I was young. So I started playing when I was in probably first grade. And I was lucky enough, my mom was really interested in hoops. She played hoops in high school, and she was really into it. The one thing that really stands out with my mom is she would always rebound for me. I would read things about players that worked out at different times and trying to get better, and I ate those stories up. So I wanted to be like that, of course. So I would have 6 a.m. workouts outside in front of my house, and my mom's sitting in there rebounding for me. So I had great memories of just shooting in front of the house at 6 a.m., probably making the neighbors crazy. That was a huge influence on my journey.
Thanks to work ethic and motherly help, Kennedy began to see success and recognition in the form of a college scholarship and a contract overseas, but he always made sure to stay grounded.
I don't know how to, you're ecstatic, I think that's the best word to explain that. Just knowing that hard work paid off, but then coming to realization that there's always another mountain to climb and always a chance to get better, and just like in everything you do in life. So when you reflect on it for a little bit, you enjoy it, but also knowing that, hey, we're continuing this process to get better. So I think that enabled me to get to receiving a scholarship, and then being able to continue to compete and get better enabled me to continue to play in Europe. That gave me an advantage over a lot of players that were probably more talented than me or had more athletic ability. But I think I was able to kind of move up scale just by the way I competed.
It's always been about effort with him. It's never been about, who's more skilled or who's this and who has more God-given talent. With him, it's always about how much effort you put in and, what you're willing to do for the team to win, and how much of a competitor you are.
I would describe him as one of the most calm yet competitive coaches I've ever met. He has a very even keel about him in terms of his emotional responses to things that are happening. He doesn't try to dwell on things that happened in the past or worry too much in the future. He's always living in that present moment, trying to really focus and compete in the present. Just as a player, watching him grow up, competing with him as a younger brother, and then seeing him as a coach, he wants to win, obviously, but more than win, he just wants to be the best version of himself, and he wants players to be the best version of themselves. And that's kind of his understanding of what it means to be competitive. So that's what he preaches every day, and I think he lives it. And I think guys buy in because of not only what he says, but because of how he does it too.
Unfortunately, all good things eventually come to an end, but the end of a special playing career marked the start of an even greater coaching career.
After my 5th year, I got married during the summer. And I told my wife I'm done. It was great, but I was ready to move on to my next stage in life. But then on our honeymoon, actually, I got a call from my agent, and he had a pretty good offer, and it was right outside of Barcelona. So I was able to convince my wife that I'll do 1 more year, and that's it. So I played 1 more year. When I got back, then it was, the basketball was still calling me. I didn't think that I was going to be coaching. I thought I was going to become a police officer, and was going through that. And Actually, something came up at my old high school. We won't mention it here, and I helped coach there, and it was a huge opportunity just because I was able to coach the JV, but I was also able to practice with the varsity because I had just completed playing, so I was still kind of young. So I was able to get almost a whole course from Coach Rapp as he was going through his practice, and I'm practicing with him, but I'm able to help the guys and also learn how to coach and also how to connect with guys. And from there, there was a teaching spot that came open, and then 13 years ago, I got the Archbishop Mitty job. It's been quite a journey at Mitty because you start off very fresh and young and hungry, and you have your ups and downs. We get very lucky with being able to coach Aaron Gordon and his success. He makes me look like I'm a great coach. My first meeting with him was he's like, "Coach, I don't know what you've heard about me, but I just have two things. I just want to get better, and I want to win." That's all he cared about. And I was like, well, we're going to be just fine then. So, and he was very coachable. It was good because I was just finished. I was still somewhat young and still can compete with him. So we were able to have a bunch of one-on-one games and also just kind of be able to coach him through that as well.
Over your time as the coach, what has been your most memorable moment as a Mitty coach?
Ooh, that's always tough because I feel like each year is a different journey, and each season has been special, even if win or lose. Of course, the ones that stand out are the ones where you win championships.
My first year was Coach Kennedy's second state title, but it was an incredible ride winning state that year. That was awesome, but I mean, just last year winning CCS was a pretty awesome experience too.
And you have that bias to the most recent thing that happened. So last year's team was so special because that group had come along since freshman year, and they made such huge strides, and we were gelling and being able to win the league championship and then the CCS championship in tough circumstances, and how connected those guys were. I think that team was one of the most connected teams I had in the 13 years.
The excitement all the guys have with the seniors that we had, the underclassmen that we had. It was just a great group that we loved being with, and guys really came together. It was awesome.
Those are ones that stand out, the most recent, and of course, the journey with Aaron as well, and with so many other players, that have been successful, and even that didn't go on to play basketball, but you just had great connections with, and great relationships with.
With a fiery competitive side, Coach Kennedy beat Aaron Gordon at the beginning, but eventually everyone has bad days, and those around him don't forget easily.
Early on, once we started getting to that junior year, he would he started to figure things out, and he was a handful. So, and by senior year, it was getting a little bit rough. So we won't talk about those times.
I know right now he's still a great shooter. I can probably say the same. Back then, he's probably more athletic than he was now.
Are you calling him unathletic right now?
Not on the record, no. I don't want to run.
So we do these Zoom workouts for our we do it for our club basketball team, and he's always the demonstrator. And I always say, like, it's awesome because he demonstrates stuff. He was a professional basketball player. He's still pretty good shape, all that kind of stuff. The guy could not hit a shot to save his life today. he kept missing every shot. It was great, and he was so frustrated by it, and I think he stressed himself out that he kept missing. But it was pretty funny.
He's always been there for me. I got injured my sophomore year, and he was the first one to come pick up the phone, come to my house, visit me, give me tips and advice about how to recover. Overall, he's just a great guy. Like I said before, he prioritizes the development of the players more than anything. He wants us to develop as players, but also as young men off the court.
He wants to help develop young men to be competitive, all right, and to be mentally tough. So those two things, I think, is what you're going to get out of every day in practice, every day in conditioning, every day in games, in terms of your preparation. So I think if you want to be successful in life, those are things that you need. And I think that it translates so much from basketball to life, what he's trying to accomplish here. And he's been successful, obviously, in winning, but I think he's been successful with the young men he's developed as well.
The big thing would be we want to develop players and people. And I keep coming back to, we're going to develop your son into someone who knows how to compete and someone who's mentally tough. And after 4 years going through that, they're going to be better basketball players and better people because of it.